sad news of the death of Paul O'Grady has prompted tributes from across the board, from drag queens to the real queen. The man who brought us the outrageous Lily Savage was also praised for his campaigning work on behalf of AIDS victims and animal welfare. He'd ascended to the position of official national treasure, a long way from his roots, and that's not blonde roots, in the terrace streets of Birkenhead. Phil McCann reports.
And there she is, the blonde bombside herself, Miss Lily Savage.
Paul O'Grady took the wit that he grew up with in Birkenhead on tour to national stardom, blazing a trail for drag and LGBT artists along the way. But he, or at least Lily, had to work hard to get there.
Some of the places I've worked in the past, you needed to be able to fight. Seriously. Oh, it wasn't always a life of luxury on the BBC. Oh no, I was up that motorway. Rough audiences, dressing rooms that stunk, lousy fees. That was just Pebble Mill at one.
Paul first became known nationally as Lily Savage, a character with her roots where Paul grew up, here on this road in Tranmere. Sharon lives a few doors down from his old house.
Just devastating. Yeah, especially when you only live a few doors down. Yeah, just a shame, isn't it?
Paul's often talked about how he thinks the inspiration for Lily came from the women he grew up with here in Birkenhead. His mother's maiden name was Savage. His auntie Chris was a conductor, a clippy on the buses here in Birkenhead, who he said was the talk of the town. At high school here in Birkenhead, Paul's friends remember his confidence and his comedy, even if they didn't predict his career path.
He was very funny, but not to the extent where you thought he could make a living out of it. But he always had a quick answer, always had an answer for everything. And looking back now, it was funny.
Paul pioneered Lily at this club in London. Before he moved down, he'd been an active campaigner on the gay scene in Liverpool. He remembered once how police raided this club wearing rubber gloves at the height of the worry over the AIDS epidemic.
He was an icon within the gay scene because he was everything everybody wanted to be. They wanted to be him, and a lot of people lived in the closet, as they are still doing in this day and age even. This is my pride and joy. Look at that. From Paul O'Grady's Lily Savage, and it just says, from one slapper to another.
Pete has known Paul for decades.
Come see our Sheila, see the grandkids. No, he's up here a lot. He never forgets his roots. He never forgets where he came from. And he's passionate about it.
Hello, Queens!
And Paul's legacy is still inspiring today.
It's a sad day. He was a trailblazer. He took drag to the mainstream and really set the way for people like me to be able to do our jobs.
Paul was meant to be back on Merseyside on stage in Annie in just a few months' time. The theatre where he would have appeared is paying just one of the hundreds of tributes to him today.
Oh, lovely tributes to Paul O'Grady. And we saw Pete Price in Phil's film there, and I'm very happy to say he joins us now in the studio. My condolences, because I know he was a really dear friend of yours, wasn't he?
Yeah, we come back a long way, but it was a show business friend. You didn't live in each other's pockets. It was great. But he was amazing. He used to do my radio show regularly. And in fact, last time I spoke to him, which made me roar with laughter, I said, how are you? And he went, I'm all right. I'm having a cup of tea, you know. Meh. I went, pardon? He said, I'm having a cup of tea. Meh. I went, what's the noise? He said, I've got a baby lamb in the bed with me because it needs feeding.
He loved his animals.
Loved his animals,
yeah.
And loved Lily. And Lily was everybody from when he was a social worker and his aunties and everything. And you never argued with Lily. But what I loved about him was he changed the face of show business because he knew when to hang the frock up, because he knew he had more to offer. And then he changed breakfast television. Then he changed tea time television, and he was getting millions of hits, which nobody had ever had before.
He was absolutely a trailblazer, wasn't he? But he was also a campaigner. How important was he in, supporting AIDS charities, and also, as we heard, raiding a nightclub with rubber gloves on? Yeah. He really was a campaigner, wasn't he?
Well, I'm 10 years older than him, so we lived in that sort of era when it was illegal to be a homosexual. And in those days, there was him, Larry Grayson, Danny LaRue, people like that. And we really worked hard for the young people to have what they've got today. And Paul was not frightened to tell it as it was. And that's what I loved about him most of all. And he never, ever let us down. He was tremendous. But everybody, the grief because people just didn't expect anything like this. And last time I spoke to him was a couple of days, 4 or 5 days ago,
And you had
talking
no
about the
indication-
elephants.
You had
Talking
no
about-
indication he was...
Not at all. Talking about the elephants that he'd been seeing, because he loves these animals.
Yeah.
But what he had so much more to offer. And what is sad is, use the word legend all the time, it's rubbish. This man, Lily and this man was a legend.
In so many different areas as well. That's what's interesting, isn't it? In showbiz, in animal welfare. I mean, the Queen Consort paid tribute to him. But really, it was Liverpool, Merseyside. He loved Merseyside and Merseyside loved him.
He came back a lot. He came back a lot. And let's not forget, he was a good actor as well. He was a tremendous actor, but the wit was hysterical. Last time I was with him on stage, he didn't know what was going on. He was with Sonia. Sonia was playing his daughter, and she said, "I found my dad." "What do you mean you found your dad?" "Me dad." "What do you mean?" And he didn't know it was me. And I came on the stage, "Me dad," and he physically threw me out the stage and used a few words to get rid of me. That was the last time he laid his hands on me.
Oh, he will be greatly missed. Thank you so much for coming in and talking about your great friends. And what a fantastic photo that
And
is,
he will
isn't
be now with Barbara Windsor and Cilla
it?
Black.
And Cilla Black. Yeah. Pete, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Next tonight.